Here are 5 of the best App Store games from July 2021. Consider becoming a Patreon and you can be more up to date with App Store releases as we share new games released each week on that platform. As you know, I always like to recommend at least one free game on these lists each month. This time it's Punishing Grey Raven. It's a 3D action RPG, and if you love Honkai Impact or Genshin Impact, this is the next thing for you to try out. It provides a more linear and arcade structure where players must go into missions to save mankind from robotic armies. The combat is pretty decent. There can be a lot of on-screen buttons, but it is very fun. It involves dodging, attacking at the right time, using special abilities and so forth. It just sucks that the game has no controller support. I mean, why? Also keep in mind it is free to play, which comes with its own set of roadblocks, so in some ways don't take the game too seriously and just try to have fun with it without trying to have too much fun. The game also has decent graphical options, meaning it scales well onto older iPhone and iPads. So this game actually came out last month, but I missed it, so I wanted to show it here, because it's awesome. It's an arcade shooter roguelite where you control a snake. It's kind of a modern version of the classic Snake games that you may have played on, I don't know, your Nokia phone. You can move the snake simply by tapping on the left or right side of your screen, or with the D-pad on a controller. This snake has its own heroes, around 40 plus, that can assist you. They have their own attacks, passives, and classes. Each hero has a set of classes, as I said, and combining enough heroes of the same class together grants additional class bonuses, which is cool. Players can also upgrade their heroes to be more powerful when copies are bought from the shop. At first glance, you might not think much of this game because of the graphics, but trust me, it's incredibly addicting and just a good time. If you're interested, the game costs only $2.99. I get this one won't be for everyone, but it has a lot going for it. It is a card strategy game all about birds. You can also play this game with 1 to 5 players in single player or the multiplayer modes. Each bird you play extends a chain of powerful combinations in one of your 3 habitats. Your goal? To discover and attract the best birds to your network of wildlife preserves. There are 170 birds here, and their powers are just like what you'd see them doing in real life, I guess. Hawks will hunt for you, pelicans will fish, and your geese will form a flock. You can clearly see that the developer put so much love into this one, from the art and animation, the strategy, sounds, a relaxing soundtrack, and so on. Wingspan, the board game, costs $9.99 USD. It is also available on Apple M1 based Macs. Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3 are now available on the App Store as Pixel Remasters. So I'm combining them into one section for this list. But what do these remasters of the iconic RPGs entail? Each game now has updated 2D pixel graphics, rearranged soundtracks, new touch controls, altered UI that some like and some don't, auto battle options, and more. It's just really disappointing that the game doesn't have controller support or an Apple TV version. Why? Please, Square Enix. Square Enix are also not great at updating their old apps, so I don't imagine that we'll get these features, which sucks. Anyway, if you're interested in these games, they are sold separately for $11.99 USD. Square Enix are at it again, bringing the 3D remake of the classic RPG released in 1995 to the App Store, Trials of Mana. Just like the Final Fantasy games, this one doesn't have controller support either. Very disappointing. Apart from that, it is an amazing console game to try on your iPhone or iPad. When you start the game, you can select 3 of the 6 characters to play as. The cool thing is that the characters' stories can overlap with one another, depending on who you choose as your main character and companions. The story is about good and evil, At least that's how I interpret it. It's not a spectacular story, but it should keep you engaged throughout the game's 21-hour main story. Trials of Mana costs $23.99 USD. Here are some bonus games. Nier Re is another RPG by Square Enix. I'm not a massive fan of this game right now. The resolution is really low, even on high-end devices, and it has way too many ads and other annoying free-to-play stuff. But some of you might enjoy the dark story, battle mechanics where you issue commands, and the peculiar and interesting characters. Crash Drive 3 is a paid game on Steam, and is a fantastic action multiplayer racing game. It's also a good time on iPhone and iPad too, but it is sadly held back by being free with too many ads right now. If you can look past that, I actually do suggest it. It's fun and silly. It is also available on Apple M1 based Macs. What new games have you been playing on your Apple device? Let me know in the comments. This wasn't the best month for new App Store games, I'll be honest with you, but I hope you found something here that you can enjoy. Leave a like if you found the video useful, and subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with everything Apple gaming related. My name is Stewie, and thanks for watching.